Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Oh, That's Random Podcast. This is your host. I am your host, the one and only, that guy, Nerdy G. You're at the white man if you're on DSPs. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get that intro over YouTube at some point, sometime. Listen, like, subscribe, share, do all that good old stuff. This is Oh, That's Random Podcast, the podcast where we take a little time to explore the extraordinary and ordinary. Links in the description, all that good old stuff. Best way to support us over here at Nerdy's Umbrella is to go get some of that nerdy merch. This is a nice little new one that I'm donning. The color is something. It ain't your regular color, but you can go freaky with some of them Soleil Heat Crocs if you got some. If you know, you know. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right into today and what I'm going to talk about today, ladies, fellas. You might not be happy with me on this one, fellas, but it's okay. I got us because some of us are out there and we're talking, but we ain't really talking. But we talking. I'm going to do the talking, and I'm going to talk to the ladies directly. But this podcast, this show, remember, we're exploring the extraordinary and ordinary. So I want you to understand, I am going to be talking directly to the ladies, but mostly I'm going to be speaking for us men, and this may not be for all men, but I guarantee you that the majority of men can relate to what I'm going to say. And I want you guys to understand this is not coming from a hurtful, hateful, or any negative place in my body. This is me giving my honest opinion, and the reality is I want better for us. Simple. That's it. That's all. That's the motivation here. I want better for us men, and I want better for the women. With all that being said, listen. Women, sisters, brothers, sisters, aunties, mothers, I want you guys to understand something. And I'm going to say this looking directly into the camera. Y'all are putting too much pressure on these men. Y'all are putting too much pressure on men. I understand that the Bible says the Lord won't put more on you than you can bear. But ladies, y'all are not the Lord, and y'all be piling it on. And it's not your fault, because this is a learned behavior. This is something that goes all the way back to childhood. Any therapist will tell you your traumas, your issues that you have in your adult life stem from your upbringing. Hands down, flat, proven, it's there. There are some traumatizing things that can happen in your adult life that will carry on for years and years on, that will also make a major impact, and that will change the way that you are with people. Hands down. We know that. What I'm telling you guys, what I'm telling you ladies, from jump, some ladies, some mothers, when they get their children, they either coddle them or they man up real quick, young ages. They're telling their children they're telling their young boys, man up. If there are sisters in the house, the other young girls in the house, they are seeing this and they're thinking this is the way to be. They're thinking that because boys are hard-headed, and sometimes we have to bang our head against the wall several times before we get it. Some of us are just wired that way. But the way that the mother, the woman of the house, the way that she responds to that adds on. So some men need a woman to yell at them in order for them to get their act right. Should it be that way? No. Can we make that change? Yes. How do we do that? It takes work on both ends. Why I say women put pressure on men, put are putting more pressure on men or putting too much pressure on men is, I want you guys to understand something. Men come with this internal compass. And this internal compass lets you know what's right from wrong. And it's there. I've talked to several men, and when I say several, I'm not talking about 4 or 5. I'm talking about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 different men, and spoke to them about when it came to the birth of their child. When they talk to their children, not talk to their children, but when they talked about, okay, hey, I have a child, there was a sense of responsibility that came over that man. And some men are scared of their responsibility because now they have to feed, provide, and be a moral compass or be a guider at this point in time, right? For me, I tell my children, I'm never here to live your life. I'm only here to guide you through situations in your life. I'm going to let you make the decisions yourself, but I will guide you and I will help you to make those decisions for yourself. I'm not here to live your life. I'm just here to help you guide you through your life. That's what I tell my children. Most men, some of us, we step up to that challenge because we can do it. We can be there. Some of us, we want to be the fathers that we never had. But also, too, at the same time, we don't want our children to deal with the single mother that we had. In some instances, if our single mother was bitter, upset because our fathers weren't there at the house, they turned on us, not knowingly, not intentionally. The way that they handled us because they felt that they had to be rough with us. They had to be stern with us. They had to tell us, get your shit together. Because if not, you're gonna be in them streets, or you're gonna be dead, or you're gonna be in jail. They only gave us 3 options: in the streets, dead, or in jail. Heard that a lot. That doesn't give me a good outlook. That's not a positive outlook. Dead, streets, or jail. Not the best options, if you ask me. Okay? But if you're hearing that and you're seeing that woman, that's the way that she's handling you, and when you get with a woman and she handles you that same way, that's pressure. I know some of the women out there, y'all thinking like, well, nerdy, y'all should be what? The Bible says, forgive those who not know. So if I'm not taught the proper way how to act, and I'm just being told to man up, if I'm not being shown the behavior that I'm supposed to, or how I'm supposed to behave, if I'm not shown or given the tools to be a upstanding citizen in the society, if I'm not given those tools, and my mother is the one that is putting all of this pressure on me, telling me I have to be better, I have to do this, but you're not showing me how to be better, all I hear is you can do better, but you're not showing me how to be better. Pressure. Because now that means I have to go figure it out on my own. That means I have to go and look to the guys who are in the streets, probably been in jail, probably on their way to dying, right? I have to go figure it out myself because my mother is just going to yell at me. That pressure, when you get with a woman who does not effectively know how to communicate, and she's yelling at you just as your mother did, and that's the way that you're responding to her, you're going to start responding to that woman the way that you wanted to respond to your mother, because your mother was yang, 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 yang on you because she wanted you to be better. She's yelling at you because she wants you to be better, but that's not the way. Yelling at me, yelling at anybody, whether it's a woman, whether it's a man, yelling is not the way to get them there. It may work in sports, but I feel that there's another way that you can do it in sports, because I know back in the day they used to yell at us and tell us to get on the line, and yell at us and tell us to make sure that we get it right and drill it in our head. But I think when we effectively communicate and we get it so that the person understands, then yeah, Some will say, well, Nerdy, that's kind of tied to the trauma that's been passed down through the bloodline through generation, because if you're talking solely about the minorities and the blacks, you're talking about them being enslaved, and you're talking about that mentality of somebody yelling at them, whipping them, physically abusing them to get them to do what it is that they want them to do. We don't have to live that way. This is a new day. This is a new time. This is new society with old society mindset. New society with old society mindset thinking. I get it. When I say women, y'all putting pressure on these men, some of these men don't come equipped with the right tools. Some of these men should have went to special classes when they were growing up, but for whatever reason, because their mothers told them, no, you're special. Don't let that hinder you. Don't let that, yeah, I get it. I hear you. We don't want to use anything as a crutch for men. But if I need to learn a different way, that's not a crutch. That just means I need to learn a different way, and you have to allow me to learn a different way. We can't, you can't hold me to this standard of this imaginary man that you have set in your mind. I've said on here before, no man is the ideal man for a woman, because the ideal man the ideal man that a woman has in her head, she doesn't really, unless she had a father that was present in her life, or an uncle or a grandfather, or a male role model that was in her life, she's just making this man up. Want to be a everyman. She wants a man that's in touch with himself. She wants a man that knows how to effectively communicate. She wants a man that can build, a man that is very chivalrous. She wants a man that's going to pay attention to her. Yeah, so let me tell you this. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, there's drawbacks, even with me myself. I'll tell you, I'll share it with you, right? When I'm unbalanced in life, I might pay attention more to my woman. Hands down, I'll pay more attention. Once that relationship is good, I throw it on autopilot, and then I jump into my work. And when I jump into my work, I go full head of steam. And then what ends up happening is I totally forget about what I put on autopilot. So now there's a little turbulence, but I have to go back and fix that and go correct that. If I don't go back and correct that, then that turbulence is going it's gonna do some stuff. And I ain't trying to be like Bowen and having doors fly off of what I got going on. That's reality. So look at it that way, right? That's something that I know. That's something that I realize. That pressure of, listen, having a conversation and talking to men and understanding. I know that in my time, in my experience that I've had when I've expressed my feelings to women, some of them are baffled, some of them are taken back, and then some of them have called me soft. Some of them have said, that's that gay shit. But that says, y'all saying, Nerdy, what kind of women are you talking to? I talk to older women. I've talked to women who are educated, who have careers, and outside of their careers, they are just a product of their environment. No matter how successful they are when it comes to the financial part, they are products of their environment. So some of the new age things, talking, communicating, having a man that actually communicates and tells them how they feel, how he feels, how I feel, it's crazy. It's baffling to them, right? The pressure comes in where I want you to be this. Well, I'm showing you who I am. Well, that's not enough. Well, if it's not enough, then we move on from this. Women, as much as y'all want to dog us, understand that a lot of men, we already know the responsibility that is bestowed upon us once we start courting a woman, once we start experiencing life with a woman. When we start to think about, I can see the rest of my life with this woman, we know what responsibility comes with that. And when a man truly loves you, he wants to make all of your dreams come true, and he wants that same energy in return. But if you're gonna beat him down because that's what you've been taught, and you don't know how to effectively communicate with him, and you feel like you have to be aggressive with him in order to get through to him, then be the one to say, let's try something different. Try a different approach with him. If we know that if you guys got to talking and he tell you that his upbringing wasn't the greatest, offer counseling. Offer counseling. Okay? It works. Therapy works. I promise you it does. Outside of this, Nerdy goes as the BFG, brother, father, G. I do that because I want us to win. I want love to win. And the way that we have to do that is by communication, having an understanding, fixing some of the things that we were taught when we were growing up, changing those behaviors that we saw when we were growing up. Society is putting this image of what men should be to women. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Not every man is going to be that. Not every man is going to be a $250,000 go-getter every year. That's not what they're going to bring home every year. There's going to be some that obtain that. But if they're a go-getter like that, I want you to understand something. They're going to be lacking something. Nobody checks every single box. Everybody has something about them. I have something about me. I'm aware of what that something is. Every man has something about them. But ladies, if you keep expecting perfection from your man, if you keep on trying to dig into him in an aggressive way or in a way to where it is tearing him down, you're going to continue to lose out. You're going to continue to put that pressure on that man. And men don't mind pressure, but when they're getting pressure on their home front, where they're supposed to go home to their sanctuary and to be, lack of better words, this is supposed to be my safe space when we talk about mental health, right? I need to be relaxed and at ease in a place that I reside at. I need to escape from society. When I get home, that is my escape from society, because now I can be myself. Whatever is bothering me, I want to be able to talk to my woman about it, and I want her to hear me, and I want her to just acknowledge what's going on with your man. He's not looking for an answer. Just like when you guys are sharing your troubles and your sorrows, you're sharing it with us. You're not necessarily looking for us to fix it. You're just saying, I need to let this off. I want to blow off some steam. I know this might not be your area of expertise, but I just want you to hear me. I want you to understand what I'm saying. I want you to acknowledge, and that'll be good enough. And it's the same thing with men. If those men do talk, now there are some men who are still kind of stuck in the Stone Age where they don't want to talk. They're men of few words. They just bottle their feelings up. I'm not asking you to go out there and try to get every single man to open up and talk. No, I'm not saying that, because some men aren't built that way. They're not talkers. But do not, I'm asking you, I'm begging with you, I'm pleading with you, do not put too much pressure on men. Do not jump on them. Do not keep nagging them in the ear, because they already know what their responsibility is. Once they say, I'm with you, the responsibility on a man, what a man thinks in his head, he's responsible for everything that you do. If he's a God-fearing man, he knows your failure is his failure. He knows that. He knows that he has to equip you with the tools for you to be successful even in your own life. Yes, once y'all get married, y'all are one together. But if you are not succeeding, he feels a responsibility like, listen, I need to give you the tools. I need to give you the confidence. I need to motivate you. I need to do something that puts you in a position to win. He's responsible for you. If y'all end up having kids, He's responsible for you and those kids. Your failures is his failures. Your success are your successes. And they are his successes too, because he looks at it as, I gave my wife what she needed. I gave my woman what she needed. I provided her with those tools. She was able to go out, execute. It's a personal win for her. And it's a confidence booster. I'm up here. But just like they say, behind every good man is a strong woman. Yeah, it's vice versa. That man knows his responsibility. He takes care. If he's taking care of home, if he's providing you with the things that you need for you to be successful, yeah, that's a tough responsibility. Because in turn, women, all y'all have, the things that we ask y'all to do is the things that we, and not trying to be Stone Age about this or whatever the case, but the things that we're asking you to do is to be a team. I'm not asking you to stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom. If I'm making enough money in the house for our house, if we got 5 kids and I'm making enough money to where we're not living paycheck to paycheck, or where we're not feeling the fact, what the hell with how high groceries is right now. I mean, a house of 5, they grocery bill probably like $2,500 a month. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Groceries is steady getting higher and higher. Okay, the Eagles like damn. Okay, but what I'm saying is, it's a partnership. One partner shouldn't feel as if they have so much pressure on them that they can't operate within good faith. Pressure is put on because you want so much more. But sometimes to get more from a person, you have to kind of dial it back. You have to take a different approach, not one that you seen when you was growing up. Yeah, your mom probably had a knucklehead and she had to yell at him. She had to scream at him. She had to get on him. And then once she did that, it worked out for them. The guy that you get with, that may not be the same thing with him. You have to take different approaches. Women, I believe in you. I know that this new age that we're in now, I want to say it started back in 2014. The resurgence or the surgence of women being in forefront of the household. I think it started way before then. I think that women have always kind of been in the forefront of the household, but men have made it seem the otherwise. Right? Even that whole saying, behind every good woman is a good man. Well, that's, in my opinion, if you go by the Bible, what you should do is, if that man is responsible for you, if that man is, giving you the tools that you need to be successful, then who's who? Because if I'm showing you how to handle me, if I'm showing you how, if I'm showing you how to handle me, if I'm giving you the tools that you need to be successful, if I'm working with you together as a team, as a partnership, to be able to do that, to make sure that our kids are successful, to make sure that you are successful, to make sure that you are able to obtain your dreams, then that's that. I'm not going to be the dead horse. I'm going to end it right here. Y'all know me. I'm going to revisit this on the Red Cup edition with either that girl or Yaya, but I'm going to have a bigger conversation. And once we pull that up, once we do that, I think I'm going to open up the lines for the Patreon, and you guys too can come in and tune in and chime in on the conversation as well. And I'll answer whatever questions that you guys have, and we can have a productive conversation about that. And I think it'll be a great place for us to get understanding and try some different things from what we learned from the past, because we know back in the past, not everything that they did was the greatest. But y'all already know what time it is. I feel listen to a little music, and then we're going to get up out of here, and I'll bring it right back. So YouTube, y'all know what's up. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Listen, that was I Want You Around. Listen, women, we want you around. We need you around. Men, just ease up on your man when you're putting that pressure on them. Sometimes it's a little much, and we don't want our men out there. We don't want them to commit suicide. We don't want them to harm themselves. We don't want them to feel like they're not welcome in their own home. We don't want them to feel less than what they are. They're doing their best. They've been given what they've been given with, right, the cards that they were dealt in life. They're doing their best. They're trying, right? And sometimes they're just doing. And sometimes we gotta approach things differently from what we used to approach them in the past. All I'm saying is take a look at your man, take a look at your partner. If you're putting too much pressure on them, if you're not sure, ask them, and then let's go from there. And it's not an indictment against women, but listen, sometimes you just don't know what it is that you're doing. But sometimes if we just ask, then you'll know, and then you can move better. Like I said, we'll do this again with that girl, Yaya, and we'll dive into this. And like I said, I'll probably put it on the Patreon, and we'll open it up, and we'll have open forum, and we can get some clarity, and we can find some solutions for us, because this is for us. This is to make sure that love and everything like that is good and gracious and all that good old stuff. But listen, once again, this is That's Random Podcast. I am your host, that guy, Nerdy G, and this is the podcast where we explore the extraordinary and ordinary. And until next time, once again, Nerdy G, That's Random Podcast. I'm out.